Is Florida still such a great place to retire? I've lived here in Central Florida for many years, and I've helped many people relocate to the Central Florida area to retire, so I've got plenty of experience in this area. Today, I'll be taking just a few minutes to address some of the pros, and then towards the end, I'll be addressing just a few of the cons of retiring to Florida that you may not have considered. First, let's start with the most obvious reason that some would want to retire in Florida: the weather. Here in Central Florida, we've got great weather. The sun shines here pretty much year-round. Average lows in the winters run in the low 50s, and the average highs in the summer are in the mid to upper 90s. The winters in Florida are absolutely amazing. As I record this today, I think the highs for today are right around 73 degrees with blue skies. We don't shovel snow here, and icy roads aren't even a thing here in Central Florida. Stick around for a bit though, as I'll be addressing something that you may not have considered about Florida's weather. Next, Florida doesn't tax retirement income. In fact, Florida doesn't tax any of your income regardless of its source. As such, other sources of income, including income from a 401k, investments, or even wages if you went back to work after retirement, aren't taxed. Heck, I don't even think they tax lottery winnings for all two of you that might matter to. Plus, Florida's average combined state and local sales tax is right around 7% as I record this today. So, Florida is a great state to retire in regarding taxes. Before I get to the results from an interesting article that I found, if you're finding this information useful, show your support for this small local channel by hitting the like and the subscribe buttons. And if you'd like to be notified whenever I post other videos just like this, then hit that little notification bell down at the bottom. One study I found stated that Florida was the top overall state for older adults based on taxes and finances, health and medicine, and culture and lifestyle. I'll include a link to that in the comments section down below if you want to check it out. Of course, like so much on the web, you can find all sorts of information that contradicts other information. Like another article I found that stated that Florida was the 23rd best state for elderly health care. Retirees have been flocking to Florida for decades, so it isn't like retiring in Florida is some new fad, some new trend. As such, developers in Florida have been building retirement communities here for decades. Right here in Central Florida, there are scores of retirement communities. There are some great big ones like the Villages and Del Webb, and there's other ones too. And then there are tons of smaller ones like Victoria Gardens and Margaritaville right here in Central Florida. The point here isn't to list them all. The point is to point out that this is what Florida does. It's what Florida specializes in, and that should not be overlooked. The next one I'm going to look at used to be a pro, but these days it seems like it may be more of a con, and that's the overall cost of living. While here in Central Florida, especially up on the north side of Orlando, is less expensive, the beaches in South Florida can get real pricey real fast. Florida used to be known as the best state to buy cheap land for retirement. However, if you haven't bought land yet, you can forget about that cheap part. If you are looking to buy land or any other real estate here in Central Florida, simply give me a call or leave a comment in the comment section below and I will get back to you. The cost of housing has risen significantly in recent years, and one Forbes article that I read showed Florida as having the 7th highest rental cost in the entire country. The cost of purchasing real estate has risen quite a bit here too. While we're comparatively somewhere in the middle range when comparing Florida to other states in the United States, if you're coming from somewhere like, I don't know, Cleveland or Columbus, you could be in for some sticker shock. I know I said that taxes were a pro of retiring to Florida, and maybe that's still the case compared to other states, but taxes here in Central Florida just seem to be skyrocketing. Just yesterday I spoke to another realtor that was preparing to write an offer for one of my listings and ended up canceling that offer at the last minute before it ever got to me. Why? Well, you guessed it, the taxes. The taxes for this home were like $12,000 for the year. Now, it should be noted that this was priced at around $800,000, which is pretty high for this area. But the taxes for other, more moderately priced homes have also skyrocketed. Taxes like that have always been in other places like, up north, like New Jersey, Illinois, and Connecticut. I think that as of today, Florida is really right in the middle of the road when it comes to rankings of property tax rates, which to me isn't much of a pro anymore. Another con of retiring to Florida is yet another cost, and that's the cost of homeowners insurance. If you're thinking of renting, well, you might think that it won't matter to you, but rest assured, you're paying for that landlord's high insurance rates too. Although hurricanes don't really play a huge role for those of us here in Central Florida, our insurance rates are rising dramatically as we help to fund our neighbors over on the beaches. Florida is really facing a homeowners insurance crisis, but that's really the subject for a whole nother video. Now, earlier I spoke of Florida's weather, and this is why so many retirees move to Florida every day. Yes, Florida's weather is absolutely amazing. Well, at least in the winter months. That's why we have so many what we call snowbirds that live up north in the summer and move to Florida for the winter. However, retiring to Florida and facing the summer heat isn't much fun. We'll spend much of the summer with highs in the mid-90s, and that's stinking miserable. It's not just the heat either. That humidity is incredible. Yes, we've got air conditioning, we got plenty of swimming pools, but if you're going to retire to Florida, don't say that I didn't tell you about the heat. Retirees that are already living here in Florida, help out this community by noting what you think are other pros and other cons that I may not have noted here in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.